Welcome everyone. My name is Kathleen Murphy and I am currently the Territorial Director of the Consecrated Women of Regnum Christi in the North American Territory. And I'm here to do what's called a year in review, but I'd like to actually call it a 3-year in review. Because believe it or not, it's been already 3 years since I started serving in this governance. And if we go back actually 3 years ago, it was a time when we actually had our Territorial Director Nancy Nohrden and Father John Connor for the Legionaries both be elected to be general directors. So there was a lot of change happening in this territory, and we had to, well, it was, I guess you could say it was a learning curve for all of us just coming together. I had served with Nancy as a council member, but it was a different role, and just getting to know the team, the wonderful team that she has here. And starting off, right? The good thing is we still had the same vision and strategy moving forward for the consecrated women to be strengthened in their identity and mission, and desiring a steady stream of vocations, and to be financially autonomous. So that was something that I was familiar with. It was also a time, I just wanted to mention, that we started as a federation where Mother Church had recognized Regnum Christi as a canonical entity. And so that changed even the governance of Regnum Christi per se. We are now a college. So it was coming together with the new Territorial Director of the Legionaries, Father Sean, and his first counselor, and 2 of the lay members, and coming together, and a lot of conversations, a lot of kind of figuring out how we were going to move forward and working out our strategy for the territory. So a lot of newness. Another thing that was happening during that time was, well, the pandemic. The pandemic that hit us all very hard, and in the mission, our communities really had to make some hard pivots in how do we continue reaching people and families, young people, in a time when we can't actually see them, right? And what are they going through? What are the effects of this, the COVID and that reality and the anxiety and just a lot of different issues that were coming up. So it was beautiful to see the creativity and how they were responding to the Holy Spirit of how to stay connected and to reach out. So that was back 3 years ago, and I will just mention something that has helped me a lot actually at the end of the General Assembly, and that was in the beginning of my term. The Holy Father wrote a letter to the Consecrated Women of Regnum Christi at the end of their assembly, and he said, if you are to look back at the past, you are to look back and see the good that God has done for you, to see all the ways that he's walked with you, he's accompanied you, and I guess when I look over these last 3 years, that's what I see. I see God's goodness and his providing for us, his guidance. And in one area, very strongly I see it, is in the area of mission. Perhaps something that highlighted this was actually this fall. I was with, we had Nancy, our general director, as I mentioned, and her general counselor, Uge Alvarez, come to visit us. And we did what we called regional gatherings. So we had, of the 10 communities of consecrated women in the territory, we had 4 gatherings. So they came together, and it was a moment for them to share after Nancy being away for 2.5 years and Uke coming to the territory for the first time, just to see what we're doing, how are we evangelizing, how are we living out our charism, how are we responding to the needs of the people today. And for me to be there, I felt almost like a little spectator, recognizing and being able to sense the Spirit of the Lord present in these women and how alive they are in him, and how their communities are coming together and rallying together around the mission. So I just see a lot of life, right? After many years of discerning, now that we have our constitutions blessed, it's a discernment that's lived out. And I see a lot of the consecrated women alive in mission. So that would be with regards to mission. I did want to mention something very practical in the area of mission. We were able to get, just actually in December, I think it was December, we were accredited by PRAESIDIUM, which is an international organization that helps provide policies and procedures and ensure that institutions can be safe environments for working with minors. So that is a big deal for us to be able to have that accreditation. And in the same vein, we hired a pastoral advocate coordinator, and her name is Griselda Cervantez, It's a third party, it's a lay person, but for anyone that would have any concern or complaints to be able to come forward and seek some help. So that has been put in place as well in the area of safe environment to help our mission move forward. So that is in the area of mission. I think it also flows from there, but vocations is also something that is a priority for us and a fruit of our living our identity and mission. We desire and we ask you to pray also to the Lord of the Harvest. I think he is calling many young people, men and women, to respond to his call and to be generous to find their path of fulfillment and happiness within consecrated life. And I'm happy to say that we've had, in the last 3 years, every year we've had 1 or 2 young women that have actually given God a year to discern here in Atlanta, in the community here in Atlanta. Adrienne Rolwes is the National Vocations Director, and she runs the program. And that year is a year of discernment to see if they could be called and take the next step, which would be towards the candidacy. So that's very beautiful. And this year we've taken the step of asking the communities to integrate the vocational work within their own pastoral work. Because as you know, for a young person that's discerning and open and feeling the call of the Lord, they actually have to see communities of women who are in love with Jesus and are joyfully, fully given to the mission in service to others. So that's happening as well this year, and hopefully that'll bear a lot of fruit. We've also been able to add, and this is a blessing, to have Jacquie Lustig be assisting in the vocational work with promotions on the national level with Adrienne. So hopefully that reinforcement and that effort is going to bear some fruit there too. Then in the area of finances, this is another really important part, right? Because we have this heart that is for the mission and for the kingdom, but we actually are living in the temporal world, and we need to be provided for, and we need to be able to help this mission to move forward. So basically, this is something that the church has asked of us since we became a Society of Apostolic Life. They said you need to take on ownership and responsibility for your finances and be autonomous. And so we have a plan that is a 5-year plan. We're already on year 3, so we have 2 more years to be fully autonomous, and we're taking strides there. I want to just take advantage to thank the lay people that are serving in our advisory council. They have just been phenomenal and really giving expertise advice and helping us take strides in this area. Also, the communities themselves have been really co-responsible and taking ownership there as well. We were able this year every year we've been able to reach our fundraising financial goals. This year we were able to exceed it, which is really wonderful. We were able to put some money aside for our elder care. That's something we've been trying to do over the last 3 years as well. We're a little bit behind on that, but the Lord is blessing us in that area. We also were able to establish a fund. A beautiful Regnum Christi woman who passed away recently offered a fund for us, which is called the BEVERLY THEWES TRUTH FUND, and that is to be able to help our consecrated women to get further studies to be able to help their mission. So right now we have 40% of our women being certified in spiritual direction courses, but then there's other higher studies for different ministries. So in order for us to be competent and be able to serve well, that has been a gift as well for us. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in the area of finances. I mean, it's just a lot of work. You have to go from creating new corporations. We were able to actually purchase 2 homes for the communities and pay off the mortgage of 2 homes. So God has really been blessing. At the same time, we still have some areas for growth. So we thank you all the benefactors who have been supporting us throughout these years and helping our mission move forward. We're really grateful, and we just ask for more prayers for our mission, for vocations, and for our financial health. I think that's mainly it for the updates. If I were to say anything about hopes for the coming years, I would just say the Territorial Convention and the General Convention, which is the international one, for Regnum Christi is a great hope. I think that it has the potential to really help ignite the hearts of the apostles of each Regnum Christi man and woman, and the communities, right, the different localities of apostles. So praying for that. I know we've been putting some efforts forward with the locality evangelization plan. Basically, it's like where all of the communities come together in a locality and think together and pray together and see how are we called to evangelize. So I think our participation and collaboration in that is going to ready us for these conventions and bear a lot of fruit. So with that, I thank you. And I ask for your prayers for this new year. I assure you of our prayers as well. All right, God bless you.